Now we are going to start building our websites. Before diving in the code, we are going to create a new project folder like we did with the other projects. So first of all, we're going to go to our websites folder and create a new project folder there and call it app landing page. And then parentheses and Bootstrap. Okay, now let's open brackets and open this folder using brackets. Okay, now we're going to create our index.html file. And start writing our HTML code. Alright, since we're going to be using Bootstrap, a good practice would be to get a Bootstrap template from the Bootstrap webpage. So if we go to the Bootstrap website, which is getbootstrap.com, then go to Getting Started. Then if we scroll down, we'll find the template right there. So we can copy this HTML template and paste it inside our index.html file. Okay, so if we look at the links, we'll see that we are using here local files. So we'll need to include these files inside our projects folder. To do that, we can either download the files from the Bootstrap website using the download Bootstrap link. Otherwise, we can go back to our Bootstrap folder and get these links or these folders from there. So we need the CSS folder, the fonts folder, and the JS folder. So I'm going to copy them and I'm going to paste them inside our projects folder. Okay. Now let's change the title of our webpage to app landing page. And let's go for the live preview. Okay. Now let's get rid of the contents inside the body elements. And now we are starting from a blank page. Alright, now let's create our CSS file where we're going to place all our styling. So we're going to call it styling.css. And let's link it to our index.html file. So let's delete these comments. And copy this link. And just change the href to styling.css. Okay, so if we look at our final website, we can see that we've got a logo and then we've got our featured content. So our featured content is going to go inside a Jumbotron. And since we are styling the Jumbotron with this nice background image, we're going to place our logo inside the Jumbotron as well. So we're going to create a div of class Jumbotron, and we're going to place all these elements inside it. So we're going to go to the body element. And create a div of class Jumbotron. Okay. Now if we go to our web page, we will see our Jumbotron there. And it's got by default a gray background color. So we would like to style it using this nice background image. So to do that, we're going to use a website called freenaturestock.com, where we can find royalty-free pictures. So you can pick up any picture you want from there They're all free. And if you click on an image, you will see the URL at the top. So if you want to use this image, for example, you just copy the URL and use it in the styling of our Jumbotron. So the image I'm using has got a number there, 166. So that's the picture I'm using. Okay, so I'm going to copy that URL. And then I'm going to go back to our files and go to the CSS file. And we're going to style our Jumbotron, which has got the Jumbotron class. So we're styling the Jumbotron class. So that's dot the name of our class, which is Jumbotron. And we are adding a background image. So the property is background. And we're going to use URL parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis we're going to paste our URL. So now if we look at our web page, we can see the image there, but we don't see the full image, and the reason why is because the height of our Jumbotron is too small. So we're going to go for a fixed height. I'm going to go for 600 pixels. Alright, now our picture has got the right height for large screens, but it's still too big for smaller screens. And that's something that we're going to take care of later. Okay, so now let's take care of the large screens. So although it's got the right height, we don't see all the elements of our picture. And the reason why is because we need to scale our picture. So first of all, we're going to take care of the width elements. So we want the original width of our picture to adjust to the width of our page. So to do this, we are going to use another property. I'm going to place it just before the height. This property is going to be background size. So the value you're going to go for is cover. And by doing that, the original width of our picture is going to adjust to the width of our screen. We are seeing this vertical line there because I am still inside the Jumbotron class. That's why we saw it. Okay. Now we've got another issue. In large device sizes, although the width of our picture is fine as it's adjusting to the width of our screen, the height is not fine, and we can tell that a fraction of the picture is cropped at the bottom. If we have a look at small device sizes, and we start with really small ones, we can see that the height adjusts to the height property of 600 pixels, but we can only see a fraction of the width of the image. If we increase the width of our screen or our window, then we can see more width. But once we reach the original width of the picture and we go beyond that, then the picture starts stretching. So the width of the picture gets bigger to adjust to the width of our window. And at the same time, the height is stretching as well because the picture is keeping the same ratio. But we can see that whatever additional height is added to the picture is going to be hidden. And the reason why is because the picture by default starts from the top left of our Jumbotron. So to fix this, what we can do, we can center the picture using two additional values that we can add to the background property. So the first value, we're going to go for center, this value is going to center the picture horizontally, and the second one is going to center the picture vertically. So now if we start from small devices, we can see that we're always looking at the picture from the center horizontally. Okay. And once we go beyond the original width of our picture and the height starts stretching as well, then we look at the picture also from the center vertically. Okay. So now we have finished styling our Jumbotron and we are ready to start adding elements inside it. Let's just add a little comment just before the styling of the Jumbotron. So what we have done so far, we added a cover background picture for the featured parts of our website. Okay. And we fixed the height of that element. So at the moment we can see that it's working for large screens. Okay. We will see later how to adjust this height for small screens like that. Okay. So now we're going to go back to our index.html file and start adding components inside our Jumbotron. So the first component is going to be the logo. So we're going to create a div. Okay, and inside this div, we're going to add a picture. We're going to create this picture using the Logo Maker website. Okay. So I'm going to look for plain. Let's go for this one and change the background color to white. Let's save it. Just remember to copy the credits using this button and place them somewhere on your website or in another page and give a link to that page on your website. So let's change the name of the file to plain and create a new folder in our projects folder and call it images. Where we're going to drag our picture. All right. Now let's go back to our div and add an image there and give it a source attribute, images, and then plain.png. Okay, so we're going to give it a class so that we can style it. Let's call it logo, and let's go to the CSS file and style our class. So we're going to be setting here the size of the logo. So the syntax is dot followed by the name of the class, which is logo. And we're going to change the width and the height. Okay, so let's go for a width of 75 pixels and a height of 75 as well. Let's refresh our live preview. And now we can see the picture.